Hi, I'm Matt Morse, and I'm the Director of Private Investment Capability for the Australian Council for the Arts. And today I'm joining you to talk to you about our Plus1 match funding program. Today I'll take you through what the program is about and what it's for, and also the eligibility, and also what makes a great Plus1 application. But firstly, I would like to respectfully acknowledge the traditional owners on the land on which I join you today, the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, and pay my respect to elders past, present, and emerging. So, what is Plus1? Plus1 is a program designed to assist small to medium, not-for-profit arts and cultural organisations with a turnover of less than $5 million annually to help them attract private sector support and grow their fundraising programs so that they can create a sustainable fundraising program into the future. The program pledges dollar for dollar match funding up to $25,000 or $50,000, depending on what stream you are, through a nominated fundraising campaign. Why Plus1? Well, Plus1 campaign should have a legacy for the organisation. The Plus1 program is not just for running a one-off fundraising campaign. It's about instilling a culture of fundraising in your organisation. And the campaign that you put forward in your match funding application for Plus1 should really talk about what is the legacy going to be on your organisation. We want to see new donors coming to your organisation. We want to see increased investment from existing donors. You know, the donors that may be giving you $50 a year now, your strategy through your fundraising plan could be to get them to donate $100 a year. So increasing their value level of support to your organisation. And ultimately through the fundraising campaign, we want to see the skills and understanding of fundraising grow across your entire organisation, not just the fundraiser. So we do have some eligibility criteria for the program. So you need to be a legally constituted entity with an Australian business number. You also need to be registered as a not-for-profit organisation as defined by the Australian Tax Office. And as I mentioned before, you need to have an annual turnover of less than $5 million in the calendar year of 2022. Or if you run on a financial year calendar, the year 2021 to 22. You also need to be based in Australia. And the majority of your arts activity or your practice needs to take place here in Australia. And of course, Plus1 is a program for arts and cultural organisations. So your primary purpose has to be that of providing arts and cultural opportunities for Australian artists and organisations. We don't accept applications from organisations that have another primary purpose, but they have a sublet of an arts activity. So they may run a dance program, but that dance program is not the core purpose of the organisation. This program is designed to support organisations whose primary purpose is arts and cultural activity. If you're unsure about that, please contact the Private Investment Capability team. We'll also not accept applications from people who were successful in the previous year of the program. And why? Because you're still undertaking the project activity for which you fundraise for, but also we like to see what are you doing with the donors that you secured through your Plus1 fundraising campaign. We want to see you put your attention to sustaining those donors beyond that initial year of match funding through the program. We don't also accept applications from schools or training institutions. Well, many of them probably would sit outside the $5 million turnover, to be quite frank. And also, we don't accept applications from organisations with a turnover greater than $5 million. As I mentioned before, This program is specifically designed for small to medium arts and cultural organisations operating in Australia. We also don't accept applications from an organisation such as a foundation of. So I give the example of, say, the foundation of the Art Gallery of New South Wales. Yes, the turnover of that particular fundraising foundation is less than $5 million, but the purpose of the money for which they're raising for is for the organisation, which is the Art Gallery of New South Wales, and their turnover is greater than $5 million. So as you can see, we really want to be supporting our small to medium sector. So Plus1 is in two streams. So we like to support both the smaller organisations in the small to medium spectrum, but also those that are a little bit larger, but understanding that a lot of our small to medium arts organisations may not have a fundraiser, or the fundraising falls to the general manager or the artistic director. So that's why we have these two streams. So if you're an organisation that has an annual turnover of less than $500,000, you're able to request up to $25,000 worth of match funding. And if you're an organisation that has an annual turnover between $500,000 and $5 million, you're eligible to request up to $50,000 in match funding. I'll talk a little bit more about how much match funding you should request for just a little bit later. So the program is currently open for applications. It opened on the 4th of July and it will close coming up soon, Tuesday, the 8th of August at 3 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. And then from there, the team here in the Private Investment Capability team will undertake an assessment of all applications received, and that takes place between the 9th of August to the 10th of October 2023. And all applicants will be notified of the outcome of their application on Friday, the 13th of October 2023. So the assessment process, we get a lot of questions from people asking us, how do you make the decisions? Who makes the decisions? So this is to give you some information. So we convene a Plus1 assessment panel, and this panel consists of senior arts fundraisers from across our country. Because this program is specifically about fundraising, it's relevant that we have fundraisers from the arts at the table talking about your applications. And then after that assessment meeting, final decisions are made by the Private Investment Capability team with the executive of the Australia Council. As we are a Commonwealth organisation, we do like to make sure that we do have representation across the various jurisdictions of our country. So if you are successful, and fingers crossed you are, we will offer you an in-principle agreement. So that is us telling you that we will support you up until the financial amount that you requested in your application. So for example, if you said we would like to raise $13,000 through our fundraising campaign, that's the amount for which we will give you in principle support for. And then from there, you can go off and run your fundraising campaign. And that is the campaign that you put in your application. So that's where you go, get out there, fundraise, do your very best. And then once you have done that, so you have a window between the 16th of October and the 31st of May in 2024. So all of your money from your fundraising campaign needs to be secured and in your bank account during those dates. We don't accept monies raised before the 16th of October or monies raised after the 31st of May in 2024. So there are a few things that we will and won't support in match funding through this particular program. But the good news is we'll support funds sourced from philanthropy, through individual giving, community giving, through trusts and foundations, especially if it's a new relationship, through business support, through business giving, through business sponsorship. If you hold a fundraising event, maybe you'll do a crowdfunding campaign, maybe through the Australian Cultural Fund, or maybe you've got some connections in business and a workplace giving program is ready to support you and your organisation. So as I mentioned, there's a few things that we will not match. And the first one is bequests. The second is in-kind support. So that is if somebody comes in and does some work for your organisation, we don't accept the financial value placed on that in-kind as money received as a donation. We don't support loans or any type of earned income outside of earned income from a fundraising event. So as you can see here, what is earned income? It's membership, it's box office, it's non-deductible ticket expenses. We won't support money from other levels of government. So we won't match if you're lucky enough to get a grant from the Australia Council or from your state-based agency or your local government. That is not private sector support. So we will not match that money. And of course, we won't match money raised prior to the start date. So as I mentioned, you go off and you do your fundraising campaign and it goes great. You raise, say, your $13,000 and you come back to the team at the Australia Council and we ask you to do one of two acquittals. And the first one is where we ask you to verify that you actually raised the funds and where did the funds come from? And what were the successes and the challenges of your fundraising campaign? Because you may have the best fundraising campaign in your mind, but in practice, it may not have gone to plan. You may have had to change tact, but you've made it. But we want to know about it. We love to hear about these fundraising activities. So once you've done the verification for us, then you need to send us a tax invoice for the amount of money that we said that we would match. And then we'll pay it. And then you're free to go off and deliver your project. So that's the project that you told us about in your application that you wanted to raise the money for. And when I talk about projects through a Plus1 campaign, it doesn't need to be the creation of a new artistic work. It could be that you need to use those funds to hire a fundraiser, or it could be that you would like to invest into your savings for your organisation, or that you need a new seeding bank. The project for which you're fundraising for is unique to your organisation. It will form the case for support that you go out and you ask people for money to help you through this campaign. And once you've finished that project, it's roughly about 12 months after you've raised the funds, we ask you to do a final acquittal. And this is where you tell us what you spent the match funding on, what the outcomes look like, and then also we love to hear about how are you going with those new donors that you secured through your match funding campaign? Because ultimately, as I said at the beginning here, we want to see you retain those donors and we want to see you grow with them. It's a great opportunity to have match funding, but that's where the hard work starts, because we want to see you growing those relationships, making them more secure. Because ultimately, you've got new people that are really passionate about what you do and what your impact is and what your outputs are. So, the application. The weight of this application is on your fundraising strategy. So what we need for you to do in your application is really clearly articulate all the components of your fundraising strategy. So firstly, you need to choose what type of fundraising you'll do, how much you need to raise, what resources have you got behind you? Is it just you, the fundraiser, undertaking this fundraising campaign? Or is it you, your board, and a community group supporting you? We need to know that you're going to be able to achieve what you want to achieve through your fundraising strategy. So it's got to be really, really clear and concise and well thought out. Now, going back to the dollar amount that you ask for us to match, if you're an organization that's, say, been only fundraising for less than 5 years, and in the previous 3 years, you've managed to raise $10,000 a year through individual donations, I would think it would be unwise for you to put through an application to the program for $25,000, because your pattern, your history at this moment in time is $10,000, but maybe extend it to $15,000, set yourself a challenge. But realistically, do you feel as though around you and your organization, you've got a pool of people that you believe that haven't supported you in the past to support you with an extra $15,000? If you do, fantastic, but articulate that to us in your application. You need to be able to tell us in your application why people should be supporting your campaign, and not just because there's matched money. As I said, it's about what is the impact of this particular opportunity going to have on your organization. So really, I would encourage you, before you start your application, is just to get a piece of paper out and start with your idea. This is our fundraising campaign. This is how much we need to raise. This is how much we've raised in the past. This is the amount of donors we've currently got supporting us. Who's going to help us with our fundraising campaign? Over the months that we've got the match funding opportunity, what do those months look like? What are our activations? When are we going out asking? And who's going to make those asks? Put them all down on a piece of paper in front of you, and then start your application. Because then you'll start to see where there might be some gaps and where you may need to refine your application, or go off and have a conversation with a colleague and say, what can we do in this space that's really achievable? And also understand and respect the size of your organization. If you're an organization with a general manager and an artistic director, is it realistic that you're going to be able to take out 3 months of other activities for you to undertake this fundraising campaign? It might be that you're able to set aside 5 to 10 hours a month. So make sure that reflects what your fundraising campaign looks like. We want you to be successful. We want you to find new donors. We want you to find new business partners. We want you to have a great time with the fundraising. We want to see this point in time to be, a step in a new direction for a new revenue stream, or a greater revenue stream for your organization. So as I mentioned, what does an amazing application look like? A well thought out fundraising plan, a realistic target, the articulation of the resources that you'll put behind your campaign, also creativity, and be yourself, and be true to your organization. And most importantly, if you need inspiration, click through to this link on the existing Creative Partnerships Australia website, and what you will see at the base of that page is at least 10 to 15 Plus1 case studies. These are written case studies from real organizations that have been successful or a little bit unsuccessful in their campaigns, telling them about what they learned and how they applied it to their campaign. It's really, really great knowledge. So take your time, read them, and absorb them, especially when you're looking at your one-pager before you start your application. But most importantly, the private investment capability team are here to help. So if you've got any questions about your application, please reach out to Lisa and Paulina from my team. They're happy to walk you through anything or provide you advice if the eligibility criteria is a little bit unclear for you. Please contact them on 02 215 9000. But if you want some advice, one of the great things actually about the Australia Council for the Arts is that we have a team of state-based state managers whose responsibility is to help artists and arts organisations to become better equipped at fundraising. So what you can do is you can reach out to them and arrange a time for a meeting to talk to them about your organisation's approach to fundraising, what you're thinking for a campaign. Seek their advice. They won't write the application for you, but they will be able to help you and refine your thinking. And even if your application to this particular program might be unsuccessful, what you've got there is the plan of a fundraising campaign that you know, because you've been truthful in your application, that you could actually go out and do tomorrow just without the match funds. So do get in touch with our state managers, and you can contact them through the Creative Partnerships Australia Holding Australia Council website. I know that's a mouthful, but we are heading towards Creative Australia, and click on contact our state managers. And then you'll see that there is a state manager for your state or territory. And you can make a time to meet with them and discuss your fundraising. And it might not be limited to this +1 campaign. It could be the start of a very long relationship with them as you build your capability in fundraising for your particular organisation. And that's the end of my slides, but I do want to just give one last piece of advice. And that is, be creative with your fundraising campaign, but be realistic. Understand what your capacity is, what you can deliver, so that when you do undertake this fundraising campaign, you're able to not just be in the depths of that fundraising campaign, but you can also sit a little bit outside and observe what is working for you and what is not working for you. So therefore, post-campaign, you walk away with a better understanding as how fundraising can work for your organisation. And you've got to win as well, because as we all know, fundraising in the arts, it's a passion project, and enjoy it. Thank you for your time today, and hopefully you've watched to the end. And I look forward to seeing your applications to the program. Thank you.